Right, we good? Okay, another exciting week in front of us. Definitely excited to be back at Saluki Stadium. That's getting to be a very good place for us, and looking forward to playing the four-time national champion North Dakota State. So this is a stretch that we knew would be challenging. Watching North Dakota State on film, they're definitely a very good football team, top 5 caliber. They're going to have a chance to compete for another national championship. And that's the challenge that we have, is to get our game at the level that we need it at to be competitive and have a chance to win that ball game. So it's exciting, and I'll open it up to questions.
What's the biggest lasting impact of a game like Saturday for you guys?
Well, I think, just the nature of our season, it's just good to have something happen where it was positive and our guys never gave up. And what I had told them on Sunday's meeting is that previously we would have things that happened to us that cost us the game. This time we had negative things happen, but we were able to recover from it, and we were able to find a way to win the game at the end. And I think that's encouraging. I think this team is maturing. They've handled a lot of the situations that we've been in very well. Nobody has ever given up hope as far as what the potential of this football team can be. I think we are a very good football team, and now we got another opportunity to prove it. So, the morale is high right now, which is exactly what we need.
Easton Stick, he played well in his debut at quarterback for North Dakota State, but how does their offense change without Carson Wentz?
Well, number one, Carson's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the country, period. In his ability to throw the ball. Last year's game against us, he made plays that were big time, and so that's what they miss out on, is just that capability. With Carson in there now, with their new quarterback, Easton Stick, he's a player too. There's a reason why he's there. He was a top player out of Nebraska. He's very capable. He can make all the throws athletically. I know they've referred to him probably as a better runner than Carson, which is saying a lot there too. So he's definitely going to be a threat with his feet. He was able to elude a lot of pass rushers in the Indiana State game, extend the play, make some plays that way. So his game is different than Carson's, and I think the Bison offense reflected that. They kind of went back to more of their old school approach, where they were just going to hammer the football, control, manage the clock, and just kind of wear you out offensively. And then defensively, they had a lot of people replaced from last year, but those players now have seen a lot of playing time. They're very good defensively, very sound, don't make many mistakes. So that'll be our biggest challenge offensively, is try to take our up-tempo offense and make it effective against a defense that just doesn't give up much.
They're obviously the defending national champs or four-time, but is this a more vulnerable Bison team than maybe in years past, just with 2 losses and obviously some injury stuff happening?
Well, that's a loaded question. Every year that we've played them since I've been here, I feel that we've had a chance to win the ball game. In fact, except for last year, we led at halftime in all those games, but you have to play a full 4 quarters, and this team is no different. And I think they've shown that with some of their games. They were able to come behind, beat Northern Iowa at the end. They controlled South Dakota State from start to finish. They're just a good, solid football team, and that hasn't changed. So, that's really not any different than the persona that they had the last 4 years. The main difference is that they have different players playing the positions.
What kind of challenges do they have, Dale, when you have the 2 powerful running backs, Frazier and Warlock, and then you have Stick, who looks pretty fast?
Well, in fact, they're using 4 to 5 running backs now in their backfield. They have a couple freshmen that are also fitting into the mix that are very talented. So they're definitely spreading the ball around a lot more than just with the 2 running backs. And, with the Stick, his whole thing is he becomes like Mark Ionati. He's a threat to run at any point in time. And so they probably are similar to us in that fashion, that a lot of the plays that they may have designed are just for him to get out on the perimeter.
They tend to dominate time of possession. How does that affect your guys' offensive approach, just given your, quick strike offense ability to score really quickly?
Well, we got to do what we do, and they got to do what they do. I mean, and that'll be the interesting, conflict that exists because they are very deliberate. They'll take the clock all the way down to 2-3 seconds before they snap it, and time of possession is something that's one of their goals and objectives. When you're up tempo, you don't care about time of possession. In fact, you can be in games where the opponent may have twice the amount of time of possession, and you're still in good shape. So it just, you got to do what you need to do, and that's going to be our approach, where whatever we have to do to get that offense in gear, having some type of success. If we have to slow things down, we'll slow things down, and then we'll speed things up. So it's just, you got to find that right combination.
Do you expect to use Shaq again at kind of on the D-line again this week?
Yeah, Shaq is a defensive lineman now, so he's turned in his tight end card, and even though we used him on that 2-point play, that was the residue of his previous life, but now you'll see him in all the defensive meetings.
Well, I was going to ask a question on that too. Will that move carry on into the spring, or will he go back to tight end, or does it
I think that's a good move for Shaq. The thing that he's done well, because we just moved him there on Tuesday of last week, and in the first practice, he was doing things with the.
looks like he has some quickness?
He's very natural, and using his hands, and the defensive line might be his best position. So now he's learned some things from being a tight end that I think will help him. But the defensive line skills that take a little while to develop, and he played that in high school, but he was surprisingly at ease playing the defensive line and made a couple plays on Saturday.
How good does it feel to be home for 2 weeks in a row? You talk a lot about routine.
Oh, it's it feels real good. That's a crazy thing. We're almost at the end of October, and this is just our 4th home game. Plus we're playing well at home. So confidence is something that's extremely important right now this time of season, and you just want to feel good about going down that final stretch. And now after this week, naturally we're on the road again, but if we can take care of business and keep winning at home, things are going to stack up well for us.
When you have such a strong opponent like North Dakota State is, but you have seen them lose a couple games, do you tend to watch more film with those games where they've lost so you can see those holes and try to mimic them, or do you just take those as for granted?
No, you watch them all. That's what gets challenging at the end of the season, is trying to watch all the film. Sometimes there's too much film to watch. But naturally, if a team loses, you want to see that. When a team plays well, you want to see that. So you want to see them at their best. You want to see them where they might be vulnerable here and there, and just trying to get a good feel for who they are, what their personality is, what they're capable of doing. So it's pretty all-encompassing. You don't really focus on one thing too much because, again, we got to do what we do, and we're a different team than South Dakota and Montana. But there's definitely going to be things that we watch from that. We're going to watch that and see what's there.
How different do they look with the new safeties? They had 3 4-year starters at safety up until this year. Now they're starting 2 sophomores.
Yeah, no, they're playing younger players, and again, that's where they've showed steady improvement. Their confidence is definitely has increased on the year. They're not giving up big plays. They do a great job coaching their safeties. For as aggressive as they are, they just don't get caught out of position very often. And that's what teams try to do. They try to get them with the play action, trying to get them biting on something that they shouldn't bite on, and they just they do a pretty good job of being fundamentally sound.
With Austin's struggles recently, do you think a little bit more about going for it if you have a 45-yard field goal with the way your offense is playing right now? Do you think longer about going for it now?
Well, it's always in your mind. I mean, that's where, I'm not going to shy away from kicking a field goal. I'm going to do anytime I send the field goal team out. I think the percentages that we're looking at are most favorable to make it. So, when you kick a field goal 50 plus, it's really about a 50-50 chance whether or not you're going to make it. And you're always thinking field position too, how that figures into it. Sometimes you don't want to give up the field position. You might go for a punt. So, I mean, there's just a lot of factors that'll go into each decision when we do decide to kick a field goal. If we feel we need to score a ton of points, well, then, we're more likely to. If it's fourth and short, more likely to go for it. So, that just depends on the flow of the game.
Will DeAndre Barnett get some time this week as far as he recovered?
Yeah, he's recovered, and right now he's missed a lot, so he's just trying to get back in the flow of things. So he'll practice, and how much playing time, we just need to see where things are at during the week, and that'll be determined during the week.
But he's medically cleared.
Medically, he's cleared. Yep.
What is Tariq's status?
Tariq right now has a very nasty hip pointer, so not expecting him back.
How about Nate?
That hasn't been determined yet, but that's a possibility.
How about Nate Sylvester?
Nathan could be back.
Could be back this week.
Could. I don't know. Yep, there's a chance. We need to work him out on Tuesday. We'll see how he's moving around. So I had that discussion with their trainer, whether he's probable or likely or all those fancy words.
His knee or his ankle? Or
Ankle.
Can you tell us?
Nathan, I think it's a leg injury. Right off the top of my head.
And McIntosh?
He was listed as probable.
And is he using a boot in the game? I'm sorry, is his still just a bad turf toe?
It's a turf toe with some stretched ligaments.
Does it mean any more to you to beat North Dakota State than any other teams?
Well, no, all wins are special. But the history involved here, I can't make it anything else than what it is. Yeah, there's a personal side here that I enjoy playing North Dakota State. They're good. They bring out the best in you. You have to be at your top of your game to even have a chance to, make it happen. And that goes way back to my playing days. It goes back to being a young coach. That was one of my motivational reasons for getting into coaching is, I wanted to keep competing against North Dakota State. And so, it's a good rivalry that exists up north, and naturally I've taken it down here and kind of doing my own personal one right now, but I do feel it can bring out the best in you.
What do you feel like has been keys for them just being able to sustain this success level that they've been able to for these past 4 years?
Well, they've made a commitment with the university, and all you got to do is just go and see their facilities and the community and how everyone has bought in 110% into North Dakota State football. They've done a good job in developing that atmosphere and that culture. So it's an expectation. There's a lot of pressure on their coaches to uphold that success, and there's not much wiggle room there for anything but success.
Coach, you kind of touched on this earlier, but how much pressure is on your offense, when they held the ball more than 23 minutes in the second half against Indiana State? How much pressure is on your offense to, I'm saying to keep the ball, but produce with the ball when you have it?
Well, again, it's putting points on the board. That's the one thing that's probably been frustrating over the past several years is we need to score more points. I mean, that's how you win ball games. That'll be the challenge for us. Are we going to be able to get our athletes into open space, allow them to make plays that will allow us a chance to put points on the board? If we're settling for field goals, again, that's always not a good sign. You're moving to football, but again, we need to get some touchdowns, and so those are things that we're aware of. Our offense is aware of it, but it's just not that simple. I mean, you just don't say, hey, we're gonna have a fast start here of the game, and then you go out and score 21 points because you plan to score 21 points. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. We have a offense where our quarterback has about 4 different choices on every play that we have. So we may run it, he may keep it, we may pass it. Those are all things that can happen in the course of one play, and we don't know what's going to happen until that play is executed, and then that's depending upon what the defense is doing. What are they taking away? Are they going to take away the dive? Are they going to take away the quarterback? Or are they going to take away the pass? So, so that's just how the offense works.
Have you agreed with most of Mark's decisions?
Yeah, Mark's been real good. There's a reason why we're having the success offensively that we're doing, but he's not going to make all the right decisions. It's impossible. I don't even know how quick it all happens, but I mean, you are making a split-second decision, and you're seeing the field. It's more of a feel sometimes than anything else that you're going with. And then as soon as you make the decision, you got to go with it without hesitation. So it's not an easy thing to master.
Defensively, where do you think you made the most improvement? Do you feel like you're still improving on defense every week?
Well, I think you're seeing a lot of positive series. Some 3-and-outs. Our defense, I think, is doing very well in the red zone. We've had our backs up against the wall many, many times, and have basically come off the field without giving up any points. So that's extremely encouraging. We still have to limit the big plays. I mean, that was something we knew would be some of the growing pains that we're going through, and we're getting close, but we're having that big play pop up every now and then that are making the numbers look a little more exaggerated than what they are.
You were able to hit their quarterback fairly well and tackle fairly well. What do you look at? Do you look at just the wide receiver making a play, or can your secondary do better things in those big plays you're talking about?
What are we talking about now?
Your big plays, what do you have to do to
Not giving up big plays or us making big plays?
giving up defensively?
Well, it's just, again, knowing what you're seeing, trusting your eyes. There's a lot of it's experience. I mean, that's why experienced players play well. They just don't get caught out of position. Now, the big pass against Torian Lewis, he was actually in pretty good shape to perform, but the receiver, a veteran receiver, did a double move where he showed a hitch at the 10-yard mark, just enough to get Torian to stop his feet, and then he went by him. So, just being able to anticipate what's happening and not get caught out of position. Now, Torian's playing pretty aggressive on that play, and sometimes when you play aggressive in the secondary, that's the worst thing you can do. So you just got to be smart with how you're playing the position and knowing the situation. So it's not simple.
What about the move with COB to left guard as the first change you've made on the offensive line all year?
Yeah, Reed had been doing very well with everything. In fact, watching the film, I was very encouraged with Reed, how he had blocked in the second half. Especially, we were able to get a north-south run game going, and I thought Reed really did a good job, handling that responsibility. And it's always encouraging, with the depth on the offensive line. I do feel our depth is probably as good as we've had it since I've been here, and that's encouraging too.
Anything else?
All right, Kenny, you got it. No.